This video is about what a snitch jacket is and why Tekashi 6ix9ine has got a snitch jacket. Now, I've been talking about Tekashi's case because a lot of similarities in my own case. The police try and break the co-defendants up to cooperate. That's how the prosecutors make their case. They actually put a snitch jacket on me at one point, but it didn't work. My co-defendants didn't believe I was snitching, so they all stayed tight. I'm going to describe exactly what happened in my case before I get back to the Tekashi stuff here. So I was in a packed court holding cell when two Tempe transportation guards stood outside. They kept glancing at me, rousing my suspicion because Tempe Police Department initiated my case. So what's going on here is I'm not in the building now that I am housed with all the prisoners that I know, including some of my co-defendants. When you go to court, there's various scenarios, but if you're not at the court building, your jail, you get put in a van, you get delivered to the court building, you get put in various holding cells depending upon your security classification. And you get put in with prisoners that you don't know in general, depending upon what the circumstances are. So I'm now in a cell without anyone that I know. I don't know these prisoners. And these two Tempe guards are outside. Now, I'm a high-profile case out of Tempe, multi-million-dollar ecstasy ring. They're trying to make headline news out of me. They're trying to break my co-defendants down. But we're all staying tight. We're refusing to cooperate and we're refusing to sign plea bargains. So the strategy is snitch jacket me. So here's what happens. Which one's the snitch in this cell? One of the Tempe guards asks. Attwood's the snitch, the other says. I can't believe I'm hearing this at this point. I'm not aware of how low these guards will go, how corrupt they are, that they will put my life now on the line, try and get me killed by making out that I'm a snitch, just so they can get their case going by getting people to cooperate. Because snitches and chomos, KOS, kill on sight by the gang, they don't give a shit about my life. My ears twitch. Was that my name? No. Surely I'm hearing things. I concentrate. Attwood's the snitch. I'm like, what the fuck at this point? He really said my name. Honestly, I'm feeling it again now because I just like, my adrenaline just went whoosh. This is serious now. Cops are trying to get me killed in the prison. An electrical current travels across my skin, raising the hairs on my arms. I'm feeling it. That was my name. Holy shit. They're setting me up to get killed. How can they get away with this? When they know everyone has overheard, they walk away. They've jacketed me. In the 60s, federal agents jacketed the leaders of radical student groups. By giving the impression that the leaders were cooperating with the authorities, they turned the group against their leader, or at least flipped those members who fell for the ploy. In here, the gang rule for snitches is KOS, kill on sight. Snitches are as hated as chomos, child molesters. If the prisoners believe the guards and figure out I'm Attwood, I'll at least be attacked. So I'm starting to panic now because I don't know these guys. If I say, I'm Attwood, I'm not a snitch, they're going to be like, yeah, right. Bam, 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 bam. They're just trying to cause trouble for Attwood, an inmate says. Sensible one. Thank God for that, I'm thinking. Relieved, I'm about to volunteer my name and explain that the Tempe police are out to get me because they don't have much of a case. But a much larger prisoner says, if we've got a snitch in here, we need to handle it. Now, there's just a mob mentality when it comes to snitch stuff, and that's why the jacket works so successfully. But at the end of this video, I'm going to explain there's a saying, show us the paperwork, whereby you can verify who is and who is not snitching. But I'm on the spot right now. That's not going to happen. Fuck. Now what should I do? As if to prevent me from speaking up, the muscles in my face tighten. Other prisoners side with the big prisoner, clamming me up even more. All eyes roam the room for Attwood. Can you imagine how I'm feeling? If it's going to go off on me now, I'm just going to get left with bones broken at this point. Blushing, I pretend to look for Attwood. Is my red face giving me away? I blush more. The more vocal prisoners debate what to do, mainly expressing enthusiasm for smashing Attwood. I'm about to pay for all of the violence I've dodged since my arrest. I'm thinking, yeah, I've not been smashed hardcore. It's about to happen right now. The guards who started it won't be in a hurry to stop it. Motionless, I say nothing, convinced opening my mouth will invite disaster. 5 minutes later, a guard yells, "Attwood, come out!" Everyone looks at everyone else as if ready to pounce on Attwood. My pulse skyrockets as I wait for the door to fully open. I step out fast and breathe easier. You're not going to believe this, I say to my attorney. 2 Tempe cops just told the inmates in the holding cell I'm a snitch. You cannot be serious, Alan Simpson says. Still rattled, I describe what happened. He tells the prosecutor guarantees a full investigation. The inmates in the cell will be interviewed. I'll have to identify the officers in the lineup and they'll be reprimanded. Yeah, right, like any of this is going to happen. Suspecting the prosecutor is in on the plot, I doubt anything will be done, and nothing was done. They have absolute immunity. They can get you killed in there and nothing will happen to them. In a holding cell after, I can only think of one person capable and motivated enough to snitch jacket me. Detective Reed. He led the investigation, said disturbing things while arresting me, and attends nearly all of my court appearances with the devotion of a stalker. He reacted emotionally when no drugs were found at my apartment and threatened me over the keys to the safe. It's more like a vendetta with Detective Reed. Yeah, I think Detective Reed, who was my nemesis in law enforcement from day one, when they raided my place, SWAT team come in, they crush me, and Detective Reed just yanks me up by the handcuffs. He's like, "You're a big name. English Shaun, we've got you finally. Ha ha ha." You could tell this was more than a day at work for this guy. He was taking it personally. There's huge vendetta between me and him. So, nothing happened to the cops. The prosecutor didn't follow through. For all I know, she might have been in on it as well, trying to break me down, break the co-defendants down. But that is what a snitch jacket means. Because of the mob mentality, it's so easy to spread word that so-and-so is a snitch. The cops or the guards can start it if they don't like someone. And then that mob mentality takes over and that person's getting lynched. So in Tekashi's case, what we've seen is all this information coming out from law enforcement. He's got threatened in the general population. He was moved over to a prison for snitches. That's come from law enforcement. He's been agreed to cooperate. He's breaking down. All this stuff is online. None of this stuff is actually verified. This is all about just putting a snitch jacket on him and breaking down the co-defendants psychologically. If you look at my other videos on beating Rico, beating racketeering, I explain all of the strategies that the prosecutors and detectives use. Same with Dave Courtney. Dave Courtney, did a podcast with him recently. It's doing well. Very controversial. Some people are saying he's a London OG. Some people are saying he's a fraud. Some people are saying he's held his mud. Some people are saying he's a snitch. Again, the people who start saying that he's a snitch, here's the thing now. The saying in prison is, and this is the bottom line, show us the paperwork. When you snitch, you have to give your testimony either in court or in a room to the cops. And it is all recorded in legal paperwork and maybe even on video these days. Now, when that case goes to trial, or even before it goes to trial, you get all of the legal paperwork, the legal discovery from the prosecutor, including everything that the snitch has said. So if someone snitched against you, there's going to be legal paperwork. In my case started because of 10 snitches. There are more snitches in America than there are police now. Some of these people get paid to get high, entice people to get high with them, and then at the end of the day turn them into the cops so the cops can get more arrests. The more arrests the cops get, the more funding they get from the government. Easiest people to arrest, young people with drugs. It's just a racket. So you've got all these snitches out there. 10 witness statements come into the police, which started my case. Then the prosecutor, I've got over 100 co-defendants now. They're looking to break these guys down, giving the impression that I've snitched, so everybody else will snitch. But my co-defendants didn't believe it. They stayed tight. And at the end of the day, only four people agreed to snitch. So with Dave Courtney as well, if you're going to call him a snitch, show me the paperwork. Send me the paperwork. Get the legal paperwork, because it has to exist if he snitched. Tekashi, if you're going to call him a snitch, get the paperwork. Show me the legal paperwork, and I'll believe he's a snitch. Anyone you're going to accuse a snitch, show me the paperwork. Now, a thing that you quickly lose in prison, in prison, a thing that you quickly learn is the people accusing people of being snitches or being chomos are often the ones who are actually the snitches and the chomos. They're hiding their own guilt by deflecting it from themselves onto other people. So if someone's accusing someone in jail and they don't produce that paperwork, sometimes the gang leader will order the person who's making the accusations to be beaten up for two reasons: for falsely accusing someone else and trying to get that person beat up, and secondly, because there's a high chance the person accusing is doing the stuff they're accusing the other people of. So, you know, there's people saying, not just snitches, there's people saying that guy is a sex offender. That's a chomo jacket. Snitch jacket. Rapo, rapist, rape jacket. Undercover, cop, undercover jacket. There's all kinds of different jackets that can be put on you. And it's not just law enforcement that put these jackets on you. Prisoners try and put jackets on their enemies as well. I've said it before, prison is like high school mentality with deadly consequences. There's all these games going on, but at the end of the day, the legal paperwork, it all comes out to tell you exactly who the snitches are. I'm going to do a separate video on some of my legal paperwork, because I've put these videos out about Tekashi's case, and some people are saying, why are you talking about Tekashi, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's such a hot subject right now. If I put Tekashi in the video headline, it's not going to get 10,000 views. It's probably going to get 100,000 views. But I'm using that interest to tell my story. Most of these videos are actually my story, because I was in the same situation with him, apart from the chomo stuff. But I'm getting that interest in to tell my story, because my mission is to expose what's going on in the world with the corrupt, illegal stuff going on in the US justice system, and all the evil and dangerous tactics that the lawyers and the prosecutors and the detectives pull on people. They have absolute immunity from prosecution. They will put your life on the line in a heartbeat, telling the other prisoners that you're a snitch if they think it's going to benefit them. And at the end of the day, I believe that's the situation that Tekashi 6ix9ine is in right now. I believe the police have put a snitch jacket on Courtney. I've not seen any paperwork. And until I see paperwork on any of these people, I'm going to err on the side of caution and assume that these are just snitch jackets put out by law enforcement. So if you've got any other questions or comments on this, I do appreciate it. Appreciate all the support of the channel. You know, it's going up in the last few days. It's gone up like 1,000 subs a day. And some people are saying, you're doing too much Tekashi, I'm unsubbing. Or you're doing too much this, I'm unsubbing. I'm putting extra content out constantly now. I'm still putting all my stories out there as regularly as I used to do, but we've got the podcast, we've got all these other videos. All this extra stuff is not taken away from, me getting my story out there. I think Wildman's really benefited the channel. Some people saying they can't understand what he's saying. Put captions on. I've authorized it for subs. People can put subtitles. I know he's got a strong northern accent, but there's ways around these things. So all the guys who are staying with me and the new subscribers, appreciate your love and support.